Okay. Please call the roll.
This meeting is called to order at 5:08 p.m. Councilmember Kaplan. Here. Councilmember Dickinson. Vice Mayor Talamantes. Councilmember Pluckybaum is expected momentarily. Councilmember Maple.
I'm here.
Mayor Pro Tem Guerra.
Here.
Councilmember Jennings.
Here.
Councilmember Vang.
Here.
And Mayor McCarty.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. Councilmember Vane, can you lead us in the land acknowledgements?
Absolutely. Please rise if you are able. To the original people of this land, the Nisenan people, the Southern Maidu, Valley and Plains Miwok, Putwin and Wintu peoples, and the people of Wilton Rancheria, Sacramento's only federally recognized tribe. May we acknowledge and honor the Native people who came before us and still walk beside us today on these ancestral land by choosing to gather today in the active practice of acknowledgement and appreciation for Sacramento's indigenous peoples, history, contributions, and lives. Thank you.
Thank you. Please join us in the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mayor, we have 3 special presentations this evening. The first is Pride Month, presented by Councilmember Maple.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. So today we are here to celebrate a momentous occasion. We did, on the 1st of this month, do the progress flag raising in front of City Hall. So really welcomed everyone and want to thank everyone who participated. And today we're presenting a resolution in honor of Pride Month on behalf of the mayor and the entire City Council of Sacramento. So Pride Month is a celebration, and it's also a reminder of something very fundamental. Every person deserves to know that they belong in this city. The city we build is not defined by its streets, by its parks, or its buildings. It's defined by how people feel when they live here. Do they feel welcome? Do they feel safe? Do they feel seen? And do they know that they are valued exactly as they are? So our hope, my hope, is that every LGBTQ resident, city employee, and young person who still may be figuring out who they are knows that Sacramento is a place where they belong and where they are loved. And so that's why this matters today, this resolution. It's a piece of paper, yes, but it also is a signal that the leaders of this community and this city see you and hear you. And so with that, we have a very special entrance and presentation. I'd like to welcome up the Lavender Chorus and Jim. Yes. They'll say just a couple of words and then do a song. This is a great privilege. And if I'm correct, you just had your very first concert recently. Is that correct? Congratulations.
What do you want me to do? This way?
Hello, Sacramento.
There you go.
Hello, Sacramento family. I'm J.R. Keith, and I'm one of the singing members of the Sacramento Lavender Chorus. I have been a member of the Sacramento Gay Men's Chorus for many years, and I'm also a board member of that same chorus. We were able to give some beautiful seed money to the Sacramento Lavender Chorus. Being a part of this chorus, hang on, I got a frog. Last night we were able to have our first concert, and we were hoping to just have a nice turnout at Trinity Cathedral. The music minister had to keep coming in and telling us we need to hold house because there were still people out in the street wanting to buy tickets to get in. So we had to hold the house for about 15 minutes, and it was a full house. They even had to clear the children's section of the sanctuary to put in more chairs for overflow. But we're the first SATB soprano, alto, tenor, bass chorus, queer chorus here in Sacramento. We are a sibling chorus of the Sacramento Women's Chorus and the Sacramento Gay Men's Chorus. So family of Sacramento, thank you for welcoming us. And now we're going to present a song.
Have you ever felt like nobody was there? Have you ever felt forgotten in the middle of nowhere? Have you ever felt like you could disappear? Like you could fall and no one would hear?
So let that lonely feeling wash away. 'Cause maybe there's a reason to believe you'll be okay. And when you don't feel strong enough to stand, you can reach out your hand. And oh,
Someone will come running,
and I know
they'll take you home.
even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you, and when you're broken on the ground, you will be found. So let the sun come streaming in as you reach up and you'll rise again. Lift your head and look around. You will be found. You will be found. You will be
you so much. And then just very briefly, we'd like to invite up Jennifer Dolan Wyatt from our city's LGBTQ employee resource group to say a few words. And please, if you're a member of the ERG, please come on up as well.
Right. Thank you, Councilmember Maple. Hi, everybody. Jennifer Donlin Wyatt, Public Works, but I'm here today in my capacity as a member of one of your employee resource groups, the LGBTQ+. Got some of our folks here today. We're small but mighty, but we're not this small. And I wanted to say a few words about what it means to be staff and have this resolution happen with us today. Oh, Eric, Elena, could you hold that, please? Thank you. Pride Month is more than a celebration. It's a reminder of the courage it took and still takes to live openly and authentically. It honors our LGBTQ+ family and allies who are here today, who stood up when it wasn't safe, who demanded dignity when it wasn't given, and who paved the way for so many of us today. But Pride is also about the present. It's about recognizing that we are still not finished. Our community still faces discrimination simply for being who they are. This resolution means a lot to staff because today we're celebrating love. We're celebrating the power of visibility, the freedom to be seen and to be heard, and we celebrate building a world where everyone belongs. Pride isn't about just being proud of who you are. It's about making sure everyone has the chance to be proud too. So thank you, Councilmember Maple, Mayor, Council. We really appreciate this resolution.
Thank you. And then we have David Heitzman in the audience from the LGBTQ Center. Oh, David Heitzman. Oh, hi. I'm sorry, my voice got drawn out. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much for the invitation, and thank all of you council members, mayor, city manager. It means a great deal to have seen so many of you out at Pride Weekend this past year, celebrating joy with us and marching in solidarity with us at the march. I really appreciate this continued tradition of recognizing Pride Month here in the city when so many places and organizations are sort of shirking back from that visibility. And at a time when folks in our community are feeling really scared to live their authentic lives every day, just going to school and work and to access healthcare. So it's really important that you are all standing in solidarity with us to say that this is a safe place for everyone. And we are going to continue to work toward a city where all LGBTQ people thrive, that is inclusive and safe, where everyone feels like they belong. So thank you again very much.
Madam Vice Mayor.
To the Lavender Chorus, that was so beautiful. Everybody, just a round of applause for them again. You stole my heart. And I just want to say love is love. Happy Pride Month to everyone and to our LGBTQIA+ community. We love you, and the city of Sacramento is here to support you every step of the way. Thank you.
And then please come join us for a photo up front. The whole team. Let's all fit in.
Yep, we got it. Yep. No, we'll go down there.
You guys can go down. We'll stay up here. This group is large.
Yeah, it's a big.
Yeah, it's a big group, so. But like they could, if you could go.
Worry about performing this time.
JD Dove. Hey. Always good to see you. Hey.
Okay.
I think they're pretty tight.
As long as you can see us, we can see you. All right.
Beautiful.
How about a 1, 2, 3, happy Pride? 1, 2. Didn't wait for the 1, 2, 3.
She was counting.
Okay.
Watch one of them fall off. Yeah, how are you? Good seeing you. Denny. Good to see you. Yay!
We now move to our second special presentation, which was moved from our 2 p.m. agenda, the 50th anniversary of Greenhaven Soccer, presented by Councilmember Jennings.
Thank you very much. I have the opportunity for all those who are out there in green, called the Greenhaven Soccer Club, to celebrate with them their 50th anniversary. They were founded in 1976 as the Greenhaven Soccer Club and started with a program that was relatively small and the belief that every child deserves the opportunity to play, grow, and belong to something bigger than themselves, regardless of their financial circumstances, with a focus on building community through the sport of soccer. Greenhaven Soccer Club has grown that vision over the last 50 years, to proudly provide a high-quality soccer experience that officially expanded as a full-service club offering options for children of all ages from the age of 3 to the age of 18. So I got to tell you a quick story in the middle of this conversation. In 1986, 10 years after they started, they allowed your council member, Rick Jennings, to become a coach of the Greenhaven Stompers. I had never coached soccer in my life, but those kids got out there and they started playing soccer, and I started watching soccer on television, and I learned to coach by watching soccer on television. And those kids taught me how to get that ball in the net, how to play defense, so they helped me to become the coach that I am today for all of them on the day. So the philosophy of the club is that we are one community, and it's developed a meaningful relationship with many local youth organizations, schools, scout troops, and other sports programs in the Sacramento region to better serve families and strengthen communities. It also does a lot with community-based organizations, as well as events that take place in the Greenhaven area, fundraising for the JFK Soccer, the Sacramento Food Bank and Family Pro Services, Easter egg hunt. They never miss an Easter egg hunt at Garcia Bend, and 4th of July parades, as well as annual toy drives. Now, here's the great thing. They have collected over 9,000 toys over the last 8 years, and those toys go out to the communities of need. That deserves a round of applause. So one of the things that's really important, that for the last 50 years, they've done all the great things of helping the community, offering kids competitive soccer or fun soccer, whatever the case may be, programs that really make a difference in the life of a kid. But for the last 50 years, they have brought people and soccer and service together, reflecting its devotion to upholding a commitment to community service, outreach, giving back, and creating opportunities for connection. Beth, where are you? Stand up if you will. So Beth, I'd like you to come to the microphone real quick and just introduce some of the leaders of the club. Come on up. And all the kids, come on up now. We're going to take our picture.
Coach will stand up here. Yep. Yeah.
You guys know me, Councilmember Jennings? Wait, you guys go all the way around, go this way.
You know how to be in this.
Oh, yeah, Mayor.
Just something brief? Huh? Thank you so much, Councilmember Jennings and all the City Council. On behalf of the generations of families that have participated in Greenhaven Soccer, we can't thank you enough for this honor. It means the world to us. As Councilmember Jennings said, our motto is we are one community, and we're looking forward to another 50 years of serving this fabulous city and community. So cheers to 50 years. Thank you all.
That's a soccer song. We are one.
And while you're walking out, I did want to take a moment to embarrass my chief of staff by saying that she played on the Greenhaven soccer team between 1st and 12th grade. So that's Katie Hanslick, the soccer pro, alumna of Greenhaven Soccer.
I'll take the liberty here. I just want to thank Beth as well. My kid got a chance to play at Garcia Bend for the soccer tournament, and you did an amazing job with all those teams that came everywhere from Yolo County to Sacramento here to play. And but thank you again for all you do for our soccer community in Sacramento. So, big round of applause to Beth, everyone. Yeah.
So we have one more special presentation, Gun Violence Awareness Month, presented by Councilmember Kaplan.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. And, sometimes at council, we have presentations that truly uplift our soul and our principles. And just like we did celebrating Pride Month and 50 years of a soccer club, but also sometimes it's about calling attention to the most severe challenges that we face and the importance of coming together to address them. Just like, the song we heard, "You Are Not Alone." I think as we celebrate Pride and knowing that the universal language of music and love transcends lifting us up as well as addressing tragedy. June is recognized nationally as Gun Violence Awareness Month, a time to honor the lives lost, stand in solidarity with our survivors and grieving families, and renew our collective commitment to building safer communities, which I know all of us want. Every year, the devastating impact of gun violence tears through communities and families. Moms, dads, grandmas, aunts, uncles, friends, nobody is left untouched. It leaves behind grief and trauma and generational harm. However, in the midst of our darkest tragedies, we can find hope in the best of human spirit and the drive to forge new meaning through striving to mend our broken world around us and the trauma many have experienced. We have many honored guests here today that I just want to call out for the work that they do day in and day out, the organizations they lead. They often aren't recognized. We don't see the work that they do, but they are embodiment of the spirit of we are better as a community together and uplifting. So thank you. Leah Shank, who's the founder of Impact, Merv Brookins, Brother to Brother, Daniel Antonio Silva, Self-Awareness and Recovery, Janine King for Victory Outreach, Devontae Clark for I Am SAC Foundation, Paris Dye for Impact SAC, Barry Axius for Voice of Youth, Bill Knowlton for Mac Road Partnership, Carla Izalt for Gang Awareness and Prevention, Dexter Baker who's a gang awareness prevention specialist, Lugenia Whiteside, Helping Our People Eat, and Sarita Zabala, Helping Our People Eat. Those are just some of the main organizations, so let's give them a hand for what they do. Thank you for trying to make Sacramento free from gun violence. And according to the police department, I think it's important to call out that shooting incidents in Sacramento have fallen from 725 in 22 to 476 in 2025. And the number of gun violence victims have also fallen in the same period. So the work that is done on the ground every day sometimes doesn't feel like enough, but it is making an impact. And progress shows where I'm so proud to serve on a council that invests in youth violence and violence prevention, that community violence intervention works. It reinforces the city partnerships that we have doing the work on the ground that all of us represent. But we know we still have much more to do. We hear of young students losing their lives. We hear of violence on our schools, randomness outside of a club, of kids and young adults losing their life. But here's the thing, we must never lose hope and our passion for change, and that's why we must acknowledge that gun violence exists, and there is awareness and there's education in getting guns out of the hands of our youth and those that there is a better way, and violence is not the answer. So there's a privilege of a family that I met through tragedy, but have watched their strength of spirit and their hope to keep their son's memory alive. Ms. Shelley Tevis, would you come and give a few remarks? And if I called you out as an organization here to support, would you mind coming up and standing behind Ms. Tevis? I think this is an effort of love.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for having us here today, my husband and I. Today has been 633 days since my son, Kobe, was tragically taken from us. This is literally the textbook description of senseless, tragic shooting that Americans wake up to each morning. We watch the news and we learn about another person's life that was taken due to irresponsible, preventable criminal act of violence. The story may grab your attention for a moment. You might briefly look at the TV. And because it's so common and happens daily, most Americans just hear the news, and in passing, they begin and get ready for their day. They shake their head in disbelief, but we're not surprised by what we've heard. Everyone is assuming someone, anyone, is doing something to stop the gun violence that has gripped our city. I was one of those Americans until it landed uninvited, unwelcomed, on my front doorstep, as if it had a personal VIP invitation into our home, which changed our lives forever. I'm now a part of the National Gun Violence Memorial website, which was established by just one person in December of 2015. He wanted to put a face to the people who had lost their lives to senseless gun violence. To date, there's over 164,000 people listed. There's an average of 108 people killed a day in the U.S., which includes suicides, homicides, and accidents. And this site, it gives us a little comfort and a little outlet that we can go to daily to light a virtual candle to honor our loved ones. This is a small way of keeping Kobe's memory alive. Kobe has almost 15,000 virtual candles lit. He's 125 people away from being the top person featured on the website, and we won't stop until we reach the very top, because my son's life mattered. And that's the QR code if you guys want to light a candle for him. In the days following Kobe's murder, I said, I do not want to be a part of gun violence crusade, nor did I want his death to be used as a political cause. I still feel strongly about that. However, I've come to realize that if I'm not a part of the effort, then how can I expect meaningful change to happen in hopes to prevent another mother from experiencing the unimaginable loss of losing a child to gun violence? I do not wish this pain on the devil. Kobe was our only son. He was our youngest child. Killed at the age of 22. It's still unbelievable to us. Never in my life would I have imagined and I'm sure none of you as well, that you would lose a child, and certainly not by gun violence. As our oldest daughter stated at a candlelight vigil, Kobe was not perfect, but he was perfect to me. The truth is, Kobe was 22 years old, student attending San Jose State University. He was home for the weekend to celebrate his oldest sister's birthday. He was majoring in communications, and he planned to secure his dream job at ESPN working with film. He was in his junior year, and he was scheduled to graduate in the fall of 2025. We didn't want Kobe to work, but he had 2 jobs while he was attending college because he didn't want to ask us for money, but we gave it to him anyways. Kobe was that person that if he saw someone standing alone, he would approach them and include them and make sure that they joined in. He was a friend who could be always counted on. He loved and he accepted everyone. He was loyal, respectful, and kind, and he loved his family fiercely. Shortly after his death, there were 2 scholarships established in his memory to help other students as they pursue a higher education. Our family will continue to honor Kobe's memory every opportunity presented to us. Being here, telling a little about his life and our story is a blessing that we count as an honor. We continue to receive support and love from our church, our community, and people like Councilwoman Lisa Kaplan, who out of nowhere God sent and has been fighting on my behalf, unbeknownst to me. And of course, our former district attorney, Maria Wilson, who recently retired. She was handling my son's case. This battle is a fight that needs to be fought. It cannot be won by one person. We all are in this, whether we want to be or not. We're all impacted, whether we know it or not. We all have a duty and a responsibility to get involved, find out how we can help. Change happens when people decide to stand up and get involved and refuse to accept this as normal. Don't put your head in the sand and think this is someone else's problem. If you live in Sacramento or surrounding areas and or live in California, guess what? It's your problem too. Now, whether you plan to do something about it is solely up to you. But from a mom who said she doesn't want anything, any part that has to do with gun violence, and specifically said, I do not want my child to be a poster child for bringing awareness or associated with gun violence. But guess what? Here I am. Look at my beautiful baby. He was taken from me, from us. I didn't choose this. Oh, no way. It chose me. But I'm no longer running from what I thought originally destroyed me. I'm still standing by the grace of God. So I guess I'm publicly changing my mind and asking, Lisa, how can I help? 2 things I know to be true. Bad things happen to good people. And even though I'm sad and my heart is still shattered in a million pieces, God is still good. Thank you for your time. I really do appreciate each and every one of you.
He was 17.
10 years old at his doorstep, so that trip. So,
All right. Can I have you guys squeeze in a little bit on this side? Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Daniel, could you come in a little bit this way? 3, 2, 1.
One more over here. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Yep, thank you. Next item.
Thank you. We now move on to a public hearing, Florin Road Quick Quack Car Wash.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I am Danny Abbas with the Community Development Department. I'm the planner for this item, which is a request to construct and operate a quick quack car wash on Florin Road near Franklin Boulevard. This request was originally denied by the Planning Design Commission, appealed, and heard by City Council on April 28th. At that meeting, Council directed planning staff to return here with findings and conditions for approval. These can be found in attachment 2 of the report, and that concludes staff's presentation.
Mayor, I'll open the public hearing.
Okay, thank you.
I have one speaker on this item. It's Sandra Fritz.
Everyone, how everybody doing? Great. I'm a resident of Sacramento County. Been here since my son was a baby. He's 19 years old almost. I'm calling on behalf of, I live in Oak Park, and there's been issues in Oak Park resident area that has not been addressed since I've been there. I've been calling about some of the stuff happening. It's to the point that my kids want to move out of the city. And I got a grown daughter right here. She's 26, going to school, and she do not like her area she's in. Because the area is to the point that it's like, to me, garbage.
I can have a pause for a moment. We're talking about Florin Road Quick Quack Car Wash. Is that the topic you're speaking on?
I don't know who it is.
You're not talking about the car wash?
No.
Okay, I'll put you,
We'll come
we'll
back
come
later.
back to you for matters not on the agenda.
I watched
Thank
my own
you.
car.
Yeah,
And Mayor, I have no more speakers.
okay. Exactly. Thank you.
I'll close the public hearing and move the item. Yes.
Seconded.
Thank you. We have a motion by Councilmember Maple, a second by Councilmember Kaplan. The public hearing has been opened and closed.
Okay, there we go. All those in favor, please say aye. 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 Any noes or abstentions? Hearing none, item passes 9-0.
We now move to council comments, ideas, questions, and AB 123 reports.
Start with Vice Mayor, is that you? No. None?
Okay.
Public comment.
So I have 13 speaker slips for public comment matters not on the agenda. The first is Michael Harris, Habib Ahmad, Barbara Boyce, Tim Poole, Marvel Wilson Jr. Michael?
My grandpa said, get old, but don't get old. I done both. Yeah, I Jimmy Tevis, the Tevis family, I grew up with them, and just amazing people, and that's just heavy on my heart. I ain't seen Jimmy in probably 10 years, and to see him like this today, it's like, okay, so I'm here to thank y'all for getting it across the finish line Juneteenth. It's 61 years, and most of y'all know City Attorney Martinez. I don't know you. I know everybody. Yeah, I know everybody else. And most of y'all know me. I'm born and raised here. And I call myself now the Black Son of the West, because what there's like, history is what I do. And city manager, I've never formally met you. I look forward to having a conversation. But the idea that the people that fought, bled, and died for freedom, particularly the 1,918 that left California, went back, never been honored. The people that left here singing, that like the choir was singing, they were like, oh my Lord, 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 because they had to go fight that night. And half of them didn't get back. So I don't know, somebody gonna take the flag, and next year we're gonna do a formal flag raising ceremony with the city. And I'm not gonna single one person out, but last year one of y'all had tents and everything at the state capitol. We're gonna do that again. But the idea, we can have the biggest Juneteenth in Northern California here in front of the Capitol on the mall in a good.
Thank you for your comments. Your time is complete. Hybeck, Ahmad, then Barbara Boyce.
Please let me know when to start. Okay. Good evening. My name is Hiba Ahmed. I'm advocate with the Borgen Project, a national nonprofit organization dedicated to reducing global poverty through advocacy.
Can I pause you for a moment? Will you move the microphones down? Really hard to hear you, and speak right into them.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm here today to urge the Sacramento City Council to support efforts to protect the international affairs budget and to support humanitarian aid reauthorization legislation, including the Global Fragility Reauthorization Act and the Global Thrive Reauthorization Act. Around the world, 736 million people live in extreme poverty, and one child dies every 10 seconds from hunger-related causes. Investments in global poverty and poverty reduction save lives while also advancing U.S. economic interest and national security. These investments also matter locally. Sacramento's economy benefits from global stability and international trade, particularly through sectors such as agriculture and manufacturing that are connected to global markets. Therefore, I respectfully ask the Sacramento City Council to send a letter to Representative Matsui, Senator Padilla, and Senator Skiff expressing support for maintaining the current international affairs budget and emphasizing the importance of global development programs to both humanitarian efforts and our community's economic interest. I would be happy to draft a letter for the Council's consideration to send to our congressional leaders if there's interest in this request. I have a sample letter on hand, and I also have flyers with more information. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Barbara Boyce. If you have a handout, you can give them to the clerk. Thank you. Barbara? Is Barbara Boyce here? I don't see. Tim Poole? Following Tim is Marvel Wilson Jr., Selena Guevaria, then Allegra Taylor.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Timothy Poole. I am the CEO of Hooked on Fishing, Not on Violence here in Sacramento. And I stand before you just to ask a question. I've seen where a lot of people had been acknowledged for keeping the gun violence down. I've seen where people have been honored for keeping folks safe, and I appreciate that. What I don't see is our officials coming into our neighborhoods without having to have an agenda. I've been watching that for the last 15 years. That's how long I've been having my nonprofit. And I'm kind of like baffled because the work that we do, Barry Axis, Greg King, Daryl Roberts, I can name a whole bunch, Miss Shona McDaniels, just a whole bunch of good, hardworking people trying to make sure our city is safe. And the reason I'm up here is I want to know, why is it so hard for us to get funding? I want to know why it's so hard for us to see you in the spaces that we're in. I see you. Some of you I see a lot of times, and it's good to see you where you're at, but I need to see you on the front line with us. I really do, because it is rough in Sacramento. You all know that, and I've been fighting a good fight. I've never been invited to, I don't think, anything from the city. I've never got a grant from the city. Maybe, yes, I have. I did a work, I took 12 young men to clean up.
Thank you for your comments. Your time is complete. Our next speaker is Marvel Wilson, then Selena, then Allegra, then DeMarcus. Marvel? Marvel Wilson Jr.
That's all right. Thank you. Good evening. My name is Marvell Wilson Jr. I am the founder of the Men Accountable Project, and I'm here speaking on behalf of Hooked on Fishing, Not on Violence. My colleague, whom I've known for a number of years, has been dedicated to the premise of making sure that we build community and allow our youth to have an opportunity to thrive. Right now, he's running back because he has a Tuesday night meeting that he hosts with our youth. It's called the Youth Healing Circle. Under the umbrella of Hooked on Fishing, Not on Violence has spawned a number of social organizations, a number of groups that are working in tandem to make sure that we give our youth the opportunity to be able to see themselves and to be able to find themselves and to be able to help build community, because where we live in a neighborhood. We don't live in a community. We're building community. So what I'm asking, well, I want to ask a question. I'm just going to pose something that I've observed. That is that this man has not been acknowledged. Even just now, you just acknowledged a whole bunch of organizations who work with youth. You didn't mention Hooked on Fishing, Not on Violence. And I'm curious to know if that's because you haven't recognized the work that's been done, or if you have, then there's just an omission. But either way, at this point, it's fair to ask, again, what would it take for this organization to get some support, financial support, or some sort of structural support and acknowledgement? Because this organization has done quite well in representing the goal that all the other organizations have been in place to do. So it's only fair that I propose to you that we want to get this to the agenda, and if you could share with me what the course of action is to get it to your vote, I'd like to know that, and you can refer me to whoever.
Thank you for your comments. Your time is complete. Our next speaker is Selena, then Allegra.
Hi, my name is Selena Guevara. I am speaking on behalf of my mother. It's a very sensitive subject. My name is Selena. Her name is Denise Carranza. She's Aviana's grandmother, and I am Aviana's aunt. Aviana was only 9 years old. She was her granddaughter and my niece. She was the heart of our family. She was tragically killed in a hit and run in this city while riding her bike with her dad, who remains in the hospital fighting for his life still. Meanwhile, the woman accused of causing this devastation to my family, and she is out on bail, living her life, and today her arraignment was canceled because investigators say they need more time. My family does not have the luxury of more time. Every day we wake up to the reality that Aviana is gone forever. Every day we wait for answers while trying to survive a grief no family should have to endure. I'm standing here today because no grandmother, no family at all should have to bury their 9-year-old family member, a child. I'm standing here because someone in this room has the power to make justice and is pursued that no other family has to experience this unimaginable pain. I ask what is being done to ensure that this woman is held fully accountable. What is the city doing to make our streets safe enough for children to simply be children, to ride their bikes, to play, to come home safely? And what support is available for the families like mine who are grieving while watching the justice system move at a pace that feels unbearable? Aviana deserved the chance to grow up. She deserved birthdays, graduations, dreams, and a future. And I deserve the privilege of watching my niece, our young family member, a child, become the amazing young woman she was meant to be. We are heartbroken, but we are not silent. We are not giving up. We are not going away until there is accountability and meaningful action. We owe that to Aviana. Justice for Aviana.
Thank you. Next speaker is Allegra Taylor, then DeMarcus.
Allegra Casimir Taylor, CEO of the Village Advocates. Listen, I'm here to stand in solidarity with the organizations that's doing the work regarding gun violence. I'm also here because gun violence, although you guys show some stats that says it's reduced, it's more common today. And we don't want it to become the norm, which it is becoming the norm, and nowhere is safe. My granddaughter and great-granddaughter went to a friend's apartment across the street from Cal Expo just a few days ago to swim, only to be out there at the pool with their children. These are young women with children, only to find 3 youth with their ski masks on, one of which had a gun. Turned out to be 15 kids out there with a gun looking for a kid that they were gonna jump, and they did jump. I've also brought one of our youth here because it hits home when it affects you personally. So the pool in an apartment is not safe. We've got parks that are not safe. We had to cancel our park engagement this year because it's not safe. And I've got our youth that's gonna speak on the park issue and how it's affected our village. So I don't know what you all are doing, but I know what I think you might need to do. You might need to invest some money into some social workers. Put them out in your districts to find out what's happening in these homes that's causing these children to run amok and wreak havoc on the city of Sacramento. People are leaving. I'm leaving. We're done with all of the confusion that's going on. Look at these parents in here and their pain and their trauma. You all are responsible to make Sacramento a safe place, and that's what I'm expecting you all to do. So I know I haven't been here for a while, but guess what? I'm coming back.
Thank you. Next speaker is DeMarcus. Following DeMarcus is Ray Lozado.
Hello, I'm DeMarcus Winston. I'm with Miss Allegra Taylor, specifically the park incident that happened. The parks aren't safe no more because of gun violence. You can't go anywhere. I was with my sister and my niece, and we just went up there to play basketball. And 9 boys came up there all with ski masks, and they jumped me while I was in the middle of playing basketball. And they stole my chain, and they beat me to the ground. And after I finally got back up, I had multiple bruises over my body. And as I was trying to grab my niece and walk back to my car, they followed me, and one of the males pointed a gun to my chest and threatened to take my life if I had any more valuables on me. And meanwhile, they just all sat there and laughed it off, and they posted all the videos all over social media. And it's not just me that happened to. It happened to another boy that same day. That same boy who also came to the park. And they've been posted up around that same park. And I just am wondering, I got multiple police officers and investigators to find those people. And so far, I haven't had no contact. We gave them information on multiple of those same people that were a part of it, and there hasn't been no justice about it. So I was just wondering what happened to protecting your citizens of California and Sacramento.
Thank you. DeMarcus? Can I ask you 2 questions? One, what park was that you were at?
The park name was William Caston.
Aston Park.
Sir.
Okay, and then can you go to the back of the room and our staff will talk to you and just get some more information to see what we can do to follow up.
Yes, sir.
Sharing your story.
Thank you.
Thank you, Damaris.
Next speaker is Ray Lozado, then Daniel Silva, then Sandra Fritz.
You know that part? You heard of it before?
All right, good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members. It's great to see. I was sitting back here going across, I'm like, you know, we have so much potential here in our city, and I think as much as we hear about the stuff that's going on, there's just as much opportunity if we can work together. I'm Ray Lozada, a retired probation officer, and currently the director of the Office of Safe Schools here at Sac City Unified School District. We've been working with a lot of our community partners who you've named here today, as well as trying to work to develop a strategy that works more, where we collaborate a little more consistently with our school district. There's a lot of things that are happening on campus, but safety is not just about what's happening on campus. We're worried about our students, and things that are happening on the weekends and around the clock. We're working together. I'm here in support of the Gun Violence Awareness Month and in support of the organizations that are striving to bring safety to students. And it's problematic more so because we're seeing school-age students falling on either side of the gun, whether they're shooting or being killed. It's just happening so frequently, and I think it's a call to action for us to start working together. We have begun that process, probation, law enforcement, the city support. We're working towards we're having a meeting next Tuesday to establish a framework so that we can really start working out the kinks and getting something done and informing our community partners exactly, who we need to be working with. And so I'm looking forward to that. And I thank you for your support and listening to the concerns of the community.
Mr. Mayor, if I can really quick. Yes. Mr. Lozada, I want to say thank you. Thank you for meeting with myself, Councilmembers Jennings and Vang last year, and for the work that you've done to not only create an amazing program that's seen a lot of success in the school district, but help advise the city as well on the work that we do, and really looking forward to collaborating with you.
Yes, I'm excited about it. All right. Thank you.
Next speaker is Daniel Silva, then Sandra Fritz.
Good evening. Council members, specifically Council Member Kaplan, Mayor, and everyone here today. I really appreciate this certificate here that we received today. I took the time earlier to write a brief speech, so let me just go into the speech so I don't forget nothing. Right now I'm a little excited. I want to thank you, everyone, for recognizing our work, and again, Councilmember Kaplan, her commitment for making Sacramento safer for all residents. At Self-Awareness and Recovery, we work every day with youth, young adults, and adults who have been impacted by violence, trauma, incarceration, substance use, and other life challenges. Our mission is simple: help people heal, build skills, reconnect with their communities, and create pathways towards positive futures. Through trauma-informed mentoring, cognitive behavior interventions, workforce readiness training, reentry support, violence prevention services, and behavioral health programming, we help individuals develop the tools needed to make healthy decisions and break cycles of violence before they lead to tragedy. As someone who works directly with justice-involved individuals and those that at the highest risk of violence, I have been firsthand, the public safety and community healing go hand in hand. Prevention is not just responding to violence after it occurs. Prevention is about creating opportunities before violence happens. It is about helping a young person
Thank you for your comments, but your speaking time is complete. Thank you for your comments. Your time is complete. Sandra Fritz, then Minister King, then Leah Shank.
I'm back now. Okay, as I was saying, I'm in Oak Park area, and my problem is this: it's the parking. I actually come into my parking lot, I live in Sacramento housing, and I can't have time to get in there because they're parking illegal. I have to blow my horn and get out the parking lot. Then they park on no parking zone. You guys know Fifth Avenue, right? There's no parking anytime. I have to all the time to blow the horn and get through traffic. They won't move. And go to the park, it's not safe. I try to walk through the park a lot of times, and people be disrespecting you. And the area is horrible. Excuse my French, horrible. It's disgusting. And it's like, then they go outside, they throw the trash on the ground, and I'm not no nice maid. I'm a mother of two, one right here and one at home. And I feel like my kids should be safe to walk outside and go somewhere without being harassed, or even walk outside to a clean environment. No, I didn't call the code enforcement several times. No one took an issue to do anything about it. I should be able to walk outside and be feeling comfortable. I'm almost 62 years old. I shouldn't deal with that kind of nonsense. I came from the Bay Area, came out here for my kids to be raised up, which they did, to a safe environment. But that area is getting to the point where we want to move. And I don't want to do that for my kids. I have a disabled husband. He can't do too much anything. So the fact is, it's not comfortable and not safe where we get right now. Because the traffic is horrible. They block the street. They do donuts in the middle of the street. It's nothing. They don't care about it. I've been complaining since I've been there. And we moved there. What year we moved there?
2017.
And it's still the same way. Nothing changed. No parking zone. It's just packed with cars all day long. Officers drive by and look at them and smile. Are you serious? Nothing happens. So I just want to find out how you going to stop them from doing this. It's not comfortable to me. I don't like to live like that. I just want to correct that. That's all I want to say. I'm tired. Thank you for listening. My time is up.
Thank you for your comments. Minister King, then Leah Shank. Don't see Leah Shank. Don't see Leah. Gennardo Pantriosa. No. Nikisha Woods. I don't see any movement. So Mayor McCarty, their business is complete today.
Okay, thank you. With that, we
We
have
do have
one
an
adjourned in memory from Councilmember Dickinson.
Thanks, Mayor. I wanted to take a few moments this evening to recall a very important member of the county family and of the Sacramento community, former Executive Director of the California State Association of Counties, Steve Zaley, who passed away recently at the age of 81. Steve served for 10 years as Executive Director of CSAC from 1995 to 2004, and was instrumental in making CSAC into a very influential representative of counties at the state capitol. Steve was not a person to shy away from any challenge, and trying to keep 58 counties that range from Los Angeles to Alpine on the same page was not always easy to do, to say the least. I think Steve's major accomplishment while serving as CSAC Executive Director was the passage of Prop 1A in 2004 that some of you will remember was the measure that protected and protects local revenues for cities and counties from the state taking them. So it was, of the moment, something that was instrumental to the well-being of cities and counties with regard to the revenue that they were receiving from the state budget. Steve was also a guy who loved whatever he was doing. And one of the anecdotes that I certainly appreciate is that during the opening season of the River Cats in 2000, he was invited to throw out the first pitch at one of the games. And so, having been a college baseball player, he didn't take this as just a ceremonial honor. He made sure he warmed up in the CSAC parking lot before he went over to the field, and of course threw a strike for the first pitch. When Terry Shutton retired as a Sacramento County exec, my colleagues and I turned to Steve to step in as our county executive on what he and we thought was going to be a very temporary basis. That temporary basis turned into about 1.5 to 2 years, and Steve was absolutely essential to the work that we did as a county, as Sacramento County, to get through the Great Recession as best we could do. And funding was in short supply, and layoffs, unfortunately, were required. And trying to keep service levels for all the residents of the county at the level they had been was a daunting challenge. Steve's wife, Diane Cummins, was known as the local government person in the Department of Finance for years. And the two of them together were neighbors of the mayor, lived just down the street on T Street in Elmhurst. Steve was someone who it was extremely easy to work with. And I had that good fortune both as a member of the board and the executive committee of CSAC, as well as during the time he was the interim county exec. But Steve's interests ran beyond local government too. He was a docent at the Railroad Museum and served on the board of the foundation, the Railroad Museum Foundation. In fact, he had just completed his term on that board before his passing. Steve was a very special person who contributed an enormous amount to Sacramento County, to the state of California. And the contributions he made will endure. So I ask this evening that we adjourn in Steve's memory and in recognition of those contributions.
Thank you for those words, Councilmember. On behalf of Councilmember Guerra and I would like to join you in adjourning his memory. I know and knew Steve very well. I didn't know he passed until 5 minutes ago. So I'm just going through my head and remembering him. It's just like you said. I know he led Sacramento as the interim county exec and served as a leader in state organizations. I always remember him as a neighbor and see him walking around the streets. And this weekend is the annual T Street Wiffle Ball Tournament. And while he couldn't play, he always came out there and talked about his highlights playing college baseball in California. So he was somebody who gave to Sacramento and the state, and certainly have fond memories, and pass my condolences to Diane and his family. And with that, we adjourn in memory of Steve Zaley. Thank you. Oh, Councilmember Guerra.
No, thank you, Mayor. I also, want to give my condolences to Diane, and also just, again, recognize what a true public servant was. He was, and really committed, even to this council, to help us understand, the structures of the county, and his early involvement in trying to bridge the city and the county together. Again, we were fortunate to have him as such a committed public servant to the state of California, but specifically here in Sacramento. Thank you, Mayor. Mike.
Thank you. With that, we will adjourn.